Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook updated on Monday the 12th of August. Now the general outlook is still almost more of the same, with low pressure systems still swinging in from the Atlantic. A bit of a mixture through the middle of this week. There's one or two better windows of opportunity in there, but quite a tangled series of weather fronts in charge across the British Isles, so getting absolute detail is going to be quite tricky. Let's take you through and show you what we've got. For Tuesday, low pressure is toward the north. We've got a developing feature which is toward the southwest of Britain and Ireland at this stage. We have a trough that's passing eastwards off into the North Sea. Now there'll be showers around again during the day, those locally on the heavy side, but quite hit and miss, moving west to east across the Highlands through the day after a mainly dry start across eastern regions. Showers across England and Wales will tend to become few and far between, and if anything, becoming broadly dry across Wales and the western side of the Pennines and Lake District as we go through into the afternoon. A front which lies away toward the southwest will start to encroach back up from the southwest across Wales as we head into the evening and the night, with rain coming on here. It's still on the cool side again, temperatures starting off only just above freezing on the very highest tops in Scotland, and there'll be ground frost in many of the valleys and the glens inland, both for Tuesday morning and that'll be again for Wednesday morning too. Wednesday's chart for the daytime as a whole, though, is a rather tangled one. We've got a frontal system moving its way across England and Wales, chiefly the heavy rain affecting the mountains of Wales for a good number of hours, tending to clear a bit from the west as time goes on. There'll be some heavy rain around, possibly for the Peak District too. Now, the frontal system that is draped across Northern Ireland and southwest Scotland, the Lake District, is a really messy one in terms of what that does. It's being draped across the Atlantic at this stage, and what it does by the time we get to Wednesday daytime is really up for grabs. There's the risk of at least rain on and off for a good number of hours, and a possibility that even broadly across western Scotland, that rain could just set in and become heavier as time goes on. It may well be that across the eastern side of the Highlands you actually get away with a pretty good day and many hours stay dry, but never rule out seeing some rain developing through the day. Check your latest forecast then, updated of course every day for your local area on our website. By the time we get through to Thursday, that low pressure system has pulled away eastwards. Residual troughs will bring some showers for a time, but a ridge of high pressure is building in across Ireland, and that will build further in across much of Britain as the day goes on, so killing off most of the showers as the day goes on. Still though, with a westerly breeze across Scotland, I suspect a few will feed in from the Atlantic from time to time right the way through the course of the day. The odd heavy burst, the odd rumble of thunder is not to be ruled out, particularly across the northern half of Scotland, and again it's a chilly feel, the air mass originating from the northwest, so the highest tops only just above freezing point. Notice away over the Atlantic, the next warm front is showing itself. By the time we get through into Friday, it's back to looking rather unsettled widely across the British Isles. Fronts sweeping in from the Atlantic, low pressure is coming in, and there's the risk of some widespread heavy rain, particularly across western mountains. Now the exact detail is again open to some question, but there's the risk of rain setting in for a good many hours and gales across many of the hills. Temperatures will lift a little bit across England and Wales within the warm sector, still rather cool across the Scottish Highlands. Onwards into the weekend, and difficulty with absolute detail. As always at this distance, there's likely to be something of a frontal wave on the initial front that trails through across England and Wales, and that presents some complications. It could be that rain re-intensifies for some regions. Now this may well pass just across the far south of England, but there's still a risk that that could spin up further north across the British Isles. Either way, low pressure is nearby. It'll be a blustery day, risk of gales perhaps on some of the higher mountains, some showers around as various fronts and troughs wrap themselves around the low, so all looking rather back to square one as we head into this upcoming weekend. So it's still not a very appetising picture as we go onwards, even into the start of next week, with low pressure broadly across northwestern Europe. It'll be fairly cool, once again showery, the air mass originating from the northwest, so the highest Scottish tops once again likely to be only just above freezing point, and the risk of occasional ground frost in Highland glens, perhaps even some valleys of northern England at times early next week. Now, the onward trend into the final third or so of August, tentatively starting to look a little more optimistic. Still, I suppose, mixed, but just signs of higher pressure starting to build a little bit more from the south. Now, compared to recent times when most long-range models have, pretty accurately it must be said, forecast the ongoing, pretty relentless, unsettled spell, signs are just changing a touch now on the longer range computations, and we're seeing signs of occasional build of high pressure. Now, it might be that some of the models are a bit too optimistic, but we're just starting to see that suggestion of change, and we might start to find a few windows of drier days altogether, and just an end to this barrage of weather systems coming in from the Atlantic, basically. So we'll have to see how the exact detail comes out, but just some suggestions of ridges of higher pressure coming either up from the Azores or up from continental Europe. So a suggestion of better weather, cautiously I suppose at this stage. It could be that some weather systems still skirt across the northern half of the British Isles to spoil things at times, especially across Scotland. It may be that better weather is more common across England and Wales, and all of us may well see a few days of better weather in there. I'm not going to go all out for a week or 10 days of good weather, but in that mix it should just give us something a bit more to be optimistic about for a few days at least through the remainder of the month. We're not there yet though, and that improvement to genuinely better weather is still more on the horizon than the immediate future, so we'll keep you up to date. We'll update the video again through the second half of this week and see if we can pin those details down a bit more, both for the upcoming weekend and further ahead. Stay up to date with us then every day on our website. You can follow us on social media as well. Thanks for watching this video today. Bye for now.